I was a partner in a business that did over $1 million in annual recurring revenue. And today I'm going to share with you this free course on how you can manifest wealth in 2025. How you can go from zero to $100,000 a month in 90 days. So, for this little session that we'll be doing together here, I'm going to go over some of the key frameworks for manifesting, some of the key frameworks for business strategy, and some of the key frameworks for what to do with this newfound wealth that you receive into your life. And it all starts with setting intentions for wealth. See, wealth is something that requires emotional alignment and clarity to work. And the first key step is setting a clear, precise intention of what it is to create. For the purposes of this video, let's say that's going to be $100,000 a month. And so to set this intention most effectively, it helps to either write it down or to solidify it into your waking memory, into your conscious awareness that this is the intent, this is the goal that you're aiming for. And what this is going to look like is every day you're going to look at that note that you've written to yourself, or you're going to think to yourself of the goal you're trying to achieve, the direction you're aiming for. Now, this is a little different than SMART goals because we're not trying to set deadlines. We're not trying to make it hyper specific, just 100K a month. And the reason we're doing it like this is to reduce the attachment to the outcome. If we're not focusing on having to reach it in a particular framework of time or space or with these particular presuppositions for it, then it becomes easier for us to actually hold on to that goal in mind, however long it takes. Now, of course, I'm sharing with you how to do this in 90 days. But for some, depending on your work ethic, depending on how much you align to these strategies, depending on what you do to recondition your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your actions, could take less time or it could take more time. 90 days is just the average we're going to be going for in this free course. Now, the formula for manifesting wealth I've already briefly mentioned. It's your thoughts, it's your emotions, and it's your actions. These things combined equal the results. And to break this down a little bit, thoughts shape the beliefs, emotions align the energy, and actions create the momentum to produce the outcomes that you're looking for. So, what this simply means and what this simply looks like is that when you can cultivate a thought, when you can cultivate an awareness for a future experience, a future perspective that you want to manifest into your life, it gains potency because thoughts are simply neural connections, little wires in your brain that allow you to hold awareness on a particular concept or experience of expression. And so when these neural connections strengthen, when they cluster up, and when they become bundles, this is what moves a thought into a belief. And it's these beliefs that shape how we see the world around us. It's beliefs that shape how we see ourselves. It's the beliefs that determine what we end up creating in the world around us. And so the key way to go about creating this experience, this expression, a reality that is desirable and true for you, is to change the thoughts and the beliefs you hold within your conscious waking awareness, the present moment reality you're living in. And you can change those thoughts in many different ways, which we'll discuss in the later parts of this free course. But what you need to be aware of as we're starting off in this journey together is that by changing your thoughts, you change your beliefs. By changing your beliefs, you change your actions. Now, I mentioned emotions briefly. And emotions are the supercharging effect of the thoughts and the beliefs. When you have a potent emotion, when you have a charged emotion, when you have this visceral feeling in your body of this future reality that you're wanting to experience, this amplifies the ability that your neural connections have to become solidified within the mind. It becomes easier to root this new thought into the belief model that you hold for your experience of reality. And so by doing this, by taking a thought, maybe the thought of, I'm going to make $100,000 a month. And by charging this with emotions through some techniques that we'll share later on, such as meditation, visualization, rhetorical questions, journaling, different strategies such as this, what happens is you build a new framework for thinking, a new framework for believing. And these beliefs allow you to intuit new actions to take. These beliefs allow you to see in a new way, to see opportunities that you might not have seen before. They inspire you to act and operate in the framework and the alignment to this version of self that you need to be in order to experience the life you desire to have. And by doing this, by experiencing this, it becomes easier, becomes more effortless for you to create the reality that you desire. Because living as this new version of self, because of these new thoughts, these new beliefs, these emotions that you've charged into your being, you're now acting as someone who's wealthy. You're now taking the actions that someone who creates wealth easily takes. It becomes easy, effortless. It becomes real for you, this progression that you're making to experience this new framework for reality. And that's what leads you to getting the results that you desire. This is the process that we'll be going more in depth to over the course of the next couple of hours. Now, the next step in this process in setting an intention is the financial goals. You have to come to an awareness of why you want to achieve this particular amount of money. You have to come to an awareness of why is this something that's necessary for you. Because the fastest and most efficient way to create a new thought is to have an underlying deeper reason why, something that you can grasp, that you can hold in your perception as a motivator, as an intrinsic motivator. That is the key. And so when identifying this financial goal that you have for yourself, for example, the $100,000 a month, what you need to do is ask yourself why. You need to ask yourself, why is this important to me? And when you ask yourself, why is this important to me? What allows this to happen is the understanding that the deeper you go into the thought, into the perspective, into the underlying root reason, the more powerful that motivation becomes. The deeper the emotion can be that you receive when you visualize in the later aspects of your journey. The easier it is to build a new thought process because those neural connections can connect to beliefs that are already there. You're not starting from scratch, but rather you're starting from a solid foundation. And so when you ask yourself why, what occurs is this. You start to see what are the root reasons for this desire. You might ask yourself, I want $100,000 a month in revenue. And you go deeper into that with the first why. And you see that you want this $100,000 because it means that you can go full time into your business and no longer have to work a job. This is perfect. This is the first step. This is the awareness that allows you to see what is driving this manifestation, what it will lead you to take actions, and what will lead you to stay true to the path that you're on when things might become difficult, when trials and tribulations pop up that stop you from an easy route to your goals. That's the first why. Then you go deeper. You ask yourself why again. We're asking ourselves why 7 times. This is critical. That's the level of depth necessary to get to your root cause. So let's say you ask yourself why one more time, and you go, well, why do I need to go full time into this business? Why is it important for me to be able to do this? Why is it important for me to leave my job? And you get the answer. It's important for you to leave your job because it allows you the experience of a more purpose-driven life. It allows you to pursue your passions more concretely. It allows you to experience more of what you believe makes life worth living. That's the second level of why. And by doing this, you gain a greater understanding of yourself. You become clearer and clearer on who it is that you are at your core. What is the motivator that will lead you to actually achieving this goal? You ask yourself why again. And you keep asking yourself why until you get to the sixth and seventh levels. And what will happen is when you reach this level of why, when you get to this level of depth, what occurs is something like this. You will have a high level transcendence or self-actualized level of why. And this will usually be a belief such as this. If I experience XYZ, then I will be able to live in my purpose. I will be able to fulfill my purpose on this earth. That is usually what you will find, something quite similar to that. But the purpose of asking yourself why, going through these levels, is so that when you reach this purpose-driven core root, why, it becomes real to you. You see the progression between the initial goal, the overarching goal of $100,000 a month, and the root goal, so that you can live a life that allows you to transcend your limits, that allows you to be in alignment with your highest self, that allows you to live your truth. When you reach these levels of why, it becomes easy for you to realize that this goal isn't just about making money. This goal is about transforming who you are as a being. It's about experiencing and expressing a life that sets you on fire, that gives you joy, that gives you peace, that gives you a sense of love, gives you a sense of worthwhile living. That is the key core element that you need as a why. And as mentioned previously, once you have this why, it supercharges the emotions, which are the bridge between the thoughts and the manifestation. Because emotions are energy, and energy is the key core element that we're working with when we're manifesting our desires. Energy is frequency, and it's the frequency that makes up the entire reality we live in. Everything is a vibration. It can be a soft or a hard vibration, a fast or a slow vibration, but everything is vibrating. When you look into an atom with a type of microscope that can zoom in that deep, what you find is that it's just energy molecules vibrating at rapid speeds. There's no physical substance at the core root. level of what makes you up, what makes everything up. And it's these vibrations, these frequencies that can be influenced, that can be altered, that can be persuaded to change, to reform, to repel, and to attract. And that is the process that we are undergoing as we follow this path of creation. That is the experience and the expression that makes up the manifest journey, the emotions that you use to create your desired reality. Because what happens is you take your thought and you charge it with emotion. This changes the frequency you operate from. And so by being in a higher order frequency, by being in a greater alignment to a more coherent state of being, you attract to yourself realities that are desirable. In the case of what we're doing here, you attract to yourself the 100K months. You attract to yourself the opportunities, the experiences, the outcomes that lead you towards manifesting this type of reality or something even better. This is the path of manifestation. This is the creation of a life worth living. And so once you have your thoughts down, once you have your emotions down, once you have these two elements down, what's important to revisit before moving towards the next stage is your limiting beliefs. See, right now, you might know the thoughts you need to think, but when you think of this future that you want to create, you might be faced with a limiting belief like money is hard to earn, or how can I afford the investments that allow me to move my business forward? These are common and these are natural. See, the mind was built for survival. This is the system of the human being, a survival basis meant to protect us from large predators and for drastic chaos in our environment that is uncontrollable. Imagine yourself as an ancient tribesman and you get woken up at 3 a.m. because an enemy tribe has now attacked you and they're riding saber-toothed tigers somehow. This is the type of reality that the old wiring of the mind was built to handle. These are the type of experiences that our survival mechanisms were built to satisfy. Because of that, it's easy for us to have negative beliefs. It's easy for us to have doubts and fears, but it doesn't mean that we have to stay with them. It doesn't mean that we have to live life from these fears. We can reframe them. We can replace them. We can create new thoughts. We can create new awarenesses that allow us to cultivate a new way of being. And one of the techniques that I use to cultivate new thought processes of awareness that can overcome these limiting beliefs, that can overcome these fears, is a journaling and self-reflection practice. Now, there's multiple ways of journaling, and I will discuss a few later. But just to give you some value right at the beginning of our journey together, I want to walk you through a journaling technique that you can use by applying ChatGPT, the AI software that many of you should be familiar with as it's all the rage right now. And this is what you would do. You would prompt ChatGPT like this. ChatGPT, imagine that you are a world-class manifestation coach, the absolute best. Please provide me with a 90-day journaling prompt with the focus of helping me rewire my limiting financial beliefs and cultivating the thoughts, the perspectives, and the beliefs necessary for me to achieve a milestone month in my life and business. Put into ChatGPT that exact prompt, and it will generate a list of journal prompts for you to use for the next 90 days. What you do is you set an alarm for a specific time that you can dedicate 20 to 30 minutes for. And you're going to answer these prompts to the best of your ability for the next 90 days. What's going to happen is that over time, through the repetition of this reconditioning, you will start replacing the old thoughts that have been in your mind, these limiting beliefs, these limiting perspectives, with new awareness, with new understanding. And you'll start to see that your thoughts shift, your thoughts change. They start becoming new. Start becoming thoughts that are in alignment to that higher version of self that you desire to be. And by doing this, you start to recondition your mind for a new reality. You start to recondition who you are to a new framework of being. And this is one of the easiest and most effective techniques to use to deliberately undergo the process of eliminating limiting beliefs and replacing them with empowering perspectives. Because this is introspection. This is the cultivation of meta awareness. This is the self-reflection process that allows you to cultivate a new identity, a new model for understanding yourself and the world around you. And by eliminating these limiting beliefs, you become more aware of what it takes to actually achieve your goals. You become more aware of the thoughts you need to think, the awareness you need to have, the applicational practices you need to integrate into your day-to-day life to actually move forward and achieve those goals that are important to you. This is the key core framework you can use to actually start taking steps forward in your life. And I want you to remember, this process does not have to be difficult. It really can be as simple as a 20 to 30-minute journaling session once a day for 90 days. And what will happen is you'll start conditioning the habit of seeing life in a new way. You'll start conditioning the habit of replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. And what will happen is that you'll start doing this naturally. It'll start becoming natural and effective. And you will start to see that it becomes easier and easier and more habitual for you to start replacing old thoughts with new beliefs. And by the end of the 90 days, what you can find is that you're now unconsciously replacing thoughts that pop up that are negative with empowering thoughts, with life-affirming thoughts, with beliefs and perspectives that affirm the reality you are trying to create. By the end of these 90 days, you'll see yourself as a new version. You'll be taking actions as this version of self. You'll start experiencing a reality that is miles apart from where you were at the beginning of these 90 days. Now, another technique that you can use in addition to the journaling or in replace of the journaling is something known as scripting. Now, there's many, many ways to script, and you have seen multiple versions of them, I'm sure, from the 369 method to whatever last popped up on TikTok. There's plenty of methods for scripting. Now, the method of scripting that I recommend is story-based scripting. What you do is you write a detailed story about your life as if you achieved the financial goal and are living from it. This is a script that involves you writing everything from how you wake up to what you do for breakfast, your morning routine, the people you meet on a day-to-day basis, the type of car you drive, what you spend your time doing, how you plan vacations, how you check your financial dashboard to see the 100K months that you've been having. All of this is involved in the scripting. And what scripting does when you do this consistently is very similar to the purpose of visualization. Now, scripting, because you are in a different brainwave frequency, does require more repetition for your mind conditions this new belief to be something real for you. However, it's still effective. And what scripting does is very simple. It teaches your mind to build the belief of a new reality before it has occurred. It conditions you to become aware of experiences, of opportunities that lead you to the realization of the particular things that you have scripted. Now, scripting, different than journaling, isn't something you have to do every day. However, if you do script, this is something that you would want to either script once and read the script daily, or script every couple of weeks, depending on how optimized you want that reality to be, and repeat those scripts by reading them on a daily basis. Either way, you're going to want to read that script daily. That is the model that helps you build an awareness of the reality that you want to live. This is the process of creating a vision for your future. Now, there's also a ChatGPT prompt to help you with scripting if you just need some assistance. And this is the prompt that I would use. Imagine you are a world-class manifestation coach, the best manifestation coach, and you're guiding me through the process of scripting my desired reality. What I want you to do is ask me 10 questions, one by one, that will allow me to create a perfect vision of the future reality that I want to live, from how I wake up to what I do during the day to how I go to sleep and everything in between. And at the end of these 10 questions, collate or combine all of my answers together and turn it into a world-class and highly motivational script of my desired future. That's the prompt, and that's what you'd want to use. By doing this, you help yourself create a vision, the future that you desire to live in. You create for yourself a vision of the reality that you want to create. And it becomes easier and more effortless for you as days go by to experience and to condition this reality into your awakened consciousness for you to receive opportunities and outcomes that are in alignment to it as you shift your frequency to the energetic state of being that is in resonance to that reality that you're trying to live in. That is the key to scripting. Now, let's go back for a moment, back to the emotions. Because emotions, once your thoughts are clear, are still one of the most important and most practical ways to change your energetic state of being to shift your reality. And one of the emotions that is most important is gratitude. Gratitude is a wealth magnet. Gratitude is the frequency of receivership. Gratitude for both your current blessings and your future outcomes is key to manifesting the life that you desire. It shifts your energy and opens the mind to opportunities. It is one of the most foundational tools and techniques to utilize to create a life and reality that you desire. You can think about it like this. Love is a heightened frequency. Love is the frequency of wholeness. It's a completion level frequency. When manifesting from love, it's easier to receive love. It's easier to see things in a loving way when you manifest from this energy. When you manifest from love, what occurs is receive opportunities to experience the love that you feel internally. Similarly, when you utilize gratitude, what occurs is you experience the reality, you experience the shifts in energy, you experience the receivership of outcomes that make you feel more gratitude. And when you become grateful for the blessings that are already in your life, maybe for the car you drive, or if you don't have a car, for the ability to take the bus to and from work. Grateful for the house, the apartment, the roommates you have that allow you to be stable in your living environment. Grateful for the opportunity you have with the internet to create products, to coach, to provide value and receive income because of that. Grateful for the work that you might have, for the boss you have, that they're providing you monthly, on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis. Grateful for all of the opportunities, the reality that is around you. Once you become aware of these experiences, become grateful for what is true to you now, and it becomes easier for you to live from a framework of opportunity, from a framework of receivership. And when you become grateful for the blessings you have in your current reality, this allows you to condition yourself to become grateful for the blessings that you'll have in your future. When you look and read that script, if you chose to use that process, what you will see is gratefulness for the life you get to live. Grateful for how you get to wake up in the morning. Grateful for your morning routine. Grateful for the people you get to meet in your day-to-day life. Grateful for what you get to do during the day, how you get to spend your time, how you get to create, how you get to live out your dream. Grateful for how you go to sleep at night, the bed you sleep in, the house you live in. Grateful for the reality you're creating. And by being grateful in this way, you live from receivership and you become a potent magnet for the life that you desire to live. Now, one of the easiest ways to be grateful is to create an environment of gratitude. You can create an environment of gratitude by conditioning your mind to look out for things to be grateful for. And you can even make it into somewhat of a game. You can think to yourself, what are 3 things I can be grateful for today? You could be grateful for the opportunity to watch this video. You could be grateful for the truth that you have ears to listen with. You could be grateful if you have the opportunity to work at all, that you are able-bodied and aware of the potential to create and to serve others in your community. And by being grateful for these things, by feeling the emotions you feel, by embodying this gratitude, you start to create the internal environment of gratitude. You start to condition yourself into the awareness and the acceptance of the receivership possibility. Now you can expand beyond gratitude into a wealth attracting environment. Your physical space influences the energy and the productivity you have when pursuing your goals. It's important that in the process of creating your desired reality, you cultivate your space to be free of distraction. You cultivate your space to promote productivity. This could be simple things like clearing clutter, placing symbols of wealth in key areas as visual reminders. This could be creating a vision board and putting it in a noticeable area, allowing you to glance over and remind yourself of the reality you're creating, to remind yourself of why you're doing the work in the first place. Surround yourself with inspiring visuals, sounds, and scents that promotes the frequency of wealth. It just makes it easier. That's why I have the Zoom background I have, the Zen environment. It motivates me and makes me feel as if I'm in alignment to this desired reality. I'm in alignment to the reality that I'm desiring to create. And sooner or later, what you're going to see is that this background is going to become real. This is going to be what my office looks like today. And it's going to be a manifestation of my will. This is the cultivation of environment, the cultivation of the energies and frequencies around you. If you're a crystal person, this could be adding more crystals to your environment. If you're a nature person, this could be adding plants to your environment. Whatever it is that promotes inner peace, that promotes calm, that promotes focus, place these things into your environment to cultivate the awareness necessary to do good, effective work. This is one of the easy, low-hanging fruits in the journey of wealth creation. Now, before we go deeper into additional practices, into additional insights, I want to just give you some context for how this wealth creation process actually works. See, wealth creation is a habit, just like the habit of brushing your teeth. And when you get into the habit of creating wealth, it becomes easy for you to create more resources into your personal life. The habit of taking effective action is what produces massive results. This is simple. This is the habit of doing at least one thing every day that pushes your business forward. This could be doing cold calls for an hour every day. This could be writing one new ad script every day. This could be sending 1,000 emails every day. This could be traveling to local businesses and offering your services once every day. This could be writing a book that you'll be using to market your services and spending 30 minutes on it every day. This could be researching ways to grow your business from marketing to sales to organic to paid methods to grow your business and spending 30 minutes on it every day. If you haven't started a business yet, this could be spending 30 minutes to an hour every day researching different business models, maybe drop shipping, maybe affiliate marketing, maybe an Amazon store, maybe an ebook business, maybe a coaching business, maybe consulting. Whatever it might be, the daily habit of taking one step forward every day is the key to success. I heard a quote once that basically went like this: how you spend your time today will end up being how you spend your life tomorrow. And what this simply means is the aspects of life that you prioritize in the present moment become the aspects of life that become your future later on. That what you focus on putting time into now ends up manifesting the life you'll live tomorrow. That if you spend 30 minutes today on business, then tomorrow you'll spend 30 minutes a day enjoying the fruits of business. That's basically what it meant. And so by developing the daily habit of cultivating an action towards wealth creation, you become more aligned to the receivership of the outcome of wealth being manifest. So, what I want you to do before you go any further in this video is to commit to one wealth generating activity every single day, whatever it might be, whatever feels most intuitively true to you. And so, just to recap what we've discussed so far, you will have one wealth generating activity per day. You'll have one introspective activity per day, whether that be journaling or scripting. Those are the two core actions that you will be focusing on every day for the next 90 days. And by doing this, you'll give yourself the highest probability of achieving the 100K month. Perhaps, depending on which route you take, you surpass that. That is the first step in the journey that we're going forward. Now, on this journey of wealth creation, resistance sometimes shows up. This resistance can show up as fear, doubt, procrastination, when internal, or it could show up externally as chaos in your reality. What is happening here is not a bad thing. It's actually proof that you're actually changing your frequency. It's proof that you're actually creating a new reality. Because what this resistance is old energy coming up to the surface and manifesting out as experiences, whether internal or external, of your old reality. And so what this looks like can be all of a sudden you are working on one of your daily wealth creation activities. Maybe you are drafting an email to send to a prospective client. All of a sudden, fear pops up. What if they don't like my email? What if they don't respond? What if they respond and it's aggressive? What if they say, never contact me again? What if they hate my service? This is normal. This is just the fear, the resistance that is popping up and showing you that there's old energy that is being released. There's old energy that is coming up to the surface in the form of fear, in the form of doubt. This is not a bad thing. All you have to do is continue your journaling practice, continue your scripting, continue introspecting, Continue cultivating the new thoughts, the new awareness, the new perspective. Now, it could show up in another way, an external format. Maybe you are working on your business. All of a sudden, a random bill pops up for a service that you thought you canceled. It's $10,000, and you don't have $10,000 right now. This could send you into a spiral of fear and stress. But what you have to be aware of is that this is just resistance. This is just an external manifestation of the old reality, trying to pull you back into its grasp, trying to have you believe that what you're doing isn't working. But remember, as long as you're moving forward, the work is always working. As Myron Golden says, the work is either working on you or it's working for you. Remember that because it's key to the understanding of the reality that you're creating. Now, I don't know how you might resolve that $10,000 debt. Maybe you negotiate with them to make it monthly payments. Maybe you negotiate with them to cancel the debt in full due to no longer needing the service and having a mix-up of understandings for what this agreement pertained to. However you resolve it, you've resolved it. That's the key. But what's most important is that you don't let this situation, you don't let this experience control you. You don't let it affect the knowingness that you're cultivating, that you're on the right path, that because you're taking action, you are moving in the right direction. You must remember that because it is key. You must have the awareness that things will work out for you. That if they're not working for you, they're working on you, helping you cultivate new awareness, helping you cultivate new thoughts, new perspectives, new beliefs that will empower you to move forward in a way that allows you to create the life and the reality that you desire. This is absolutely key that you remember and stay aware of. In a similar aspect, as you progress on your journey of manifesting your desired reality, you might have what I like to call realized opportunities. And what this means is that you receive a manifestation that is more or less a micro version of the macro manifestation. And so in this progression towards the 100K month, this can mean getting your first client. This can mean getting your 10th client. Whatever it means, whatever it looks like, it is a reflection of the end goal. This is a sign that you're moving in the right direction. This is a sign that your manifestation work is outpicturing the reality around you. When you receive signs like this, celebrate them. When you receive signs like this, remind yourself that this is proof that you're creating the reality that you desire. It's important to acknowledge these moments. It's important to acknowledge these experiences because this builds inside your mind the habit of realization, the habit of acceptance. Because what we don't want is for you to receive your 100K manifestation and for it to not hold weight for you. We don't want you to receive this reality and then feel as if you didn't achieve anything, which can happen sometimes. That's why many, many wealthy people at the end of the day don't feel satisfied with what they've created. They don't feel as if they've achieved anything. They're always seeking more. When we manifest, we want to manifest from a state of completion, a state of inner wholeness, a state of being that allows us to feel as if the goal we're manifesting isn't the end point, but the beginning. But the beginning, not in the sense that we're seeking more, but a beginning in the sense that we're becoming who we desire to be. That is what we want to experience on the path of creating our desired reality. That is what we want to experience on the path of manifesting new futures for ourselves. Now, when moving forward towards this goal of a greater financial success, we need to prepare our subconscious to handle it. You see, 95% of our actions and beliefs are subconscious patterns. This means that they're just habits, habits that have been ingrained based on who we've been, based on what we have learned, based on the environment around us. And these habits reflect out into the actions and beliefs we hold. That's why we go through a process of reconditioning our thoughts and perspectives. That's why we introspect. That's why we take these actions and we move forward with them little by little every day to build the new subconscious awareness of who we're becoming by building the habit of becoming the version that we need to be in order to take the actions we need to take in order to get the results that we desire. You see, subconscious reprogramming leads to financial breakthroughs. Financial breakthroughs in terms of by reprogramming your subconscious mind, you could have Satori manifestations. These are rapid experiences where wealth manifests out for you in a near instantaneous framework of time. And if you join me in my own more intensive coaching by clicking the first link in the bio, then what you'll receive is trainings and techniques that are more in alignment to the Satori-based creation process. But what I'm providing for you in this short course is everything you really need to achieve that. My coaching is just so you can go a little bit faster. But subconscious reprogramming is the key to having Satori-based manifestation experiences, where by changing your beliefs, by changing the thoughts you have, you rapidly shift the energetic state that you live from. And by rapidly shifting that energetic state, you can rapidly change the world around you. All of a sudden, you receive an opportunity that comes out of nowhere, something you never even imagined, an opportunity that puts you right at the midst of the 100K months. All of a sudden, you manifest the wealth that you've been seeking. This is what happens when you can reprogram yourself subconsciously. And I'm going to share some techniques as we go deeper into this of some of my favorite ways of reprogramming the subconscious mind. But it's important for you to be aware that this is the process we're undergoing, a subconscious reprogramming, reconditioning our mind to a new mind, reconditioning our thoughts to a new awareness, changing our perspective, changing our beliefs to a new reality. Now, as I mentioned previously, on this path, you may face resistance. In a Satori experience, this resistance tends to be more potent. This experience is a rapid or massive chaos because you've massively or rapidly shifted your energy. This is normal and it's something not to be afraid of. This is part of the awakening to a new version of yourself. It might feel tough at the time that it occurs, but that's why you have this video. That's why there's so many resources for free on the internet that allow you to come back to the awareness that everything will be okay. That'll help you come back to the awareness that you are going the right direction. Now, what's more traditional is Kensho experiences, which are a slower progression towards a manifest reality. This is a more gradual change towards the experience of that desired reality. And this is where the resistance tend to appear more internally. This is when the resistance are more fear or doubt or procrastination. And it's normal. All you have to do is remind yourself of who you're becoming. All you have to do is continue your process of journaling. All you have to do is continue reading your script, to continue reminding yourself of the life that you are creating, to continue reminding yourself of who you are becoming, of what you want to believe, of who you are internally and who you are becoming. That is key. Now, on this process, on this path of manifesting financial success, what we're basically doing is shifting you from the energetic state of scarcity to the energetic state of abundance. This is the mindset shift from not enough to always more than enough. And it's important that you make this distinction and you have this awareness that this is what we're doing here. Because from a scarcity mindset, you're not going to be aware of the opportunities. From a scarcity mindset, you're not going to be able to take the risk necessary to move your business forward at the speed and at the level that you desire. You're not going to be aware of the actions you can take to actually move your business forward. It's from an abundance mindset, from a resourceful and consciously potentialized mindset that allows you to be in the energy of creation, in the energy of receivership. And when you're going through this process of reinforcing abundance, this is where gratitude plays a massive role. When you ask yourself those questions about gratitude, what you can be grateful for in the present moment, what you can be grateful for in your future life, you condition yourself to be in a more abundant mindset because you see the opportunities and the experiences that are already in your reality of abundant things. And when you get into this habit of seeing from abundance rather than seeing from scarcity, it becomes easier and more effortless for you to create from this frame of awareness. It becomes more true for you to operate from a standpoint that everything is for you. It becomes easier to operate from the knowingness that you always have more than enough, that you always have opportunity, that you are always moving in the right direction, the receivership of your higher ideals. This is key core awareness that we need to instill into your mind, your body, for you to create the life that you desire to live. Now, when shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, you're going to face resistance. It's either going to be internal or external, but it's going to happen. And I need you to be aware of this so that you can be prepared for it. Because what happens when you're not aware and you're not prepared for it is that it will sideswipe you. It will hit you and you'll think, oh no, I'm doing something wrong. Oh no, I'm not manifesting correctly because these fears, these doubts, these anxious thoughts have popped into my mind, or this chaos has entered my reality that I wasn't expecting. This must mean that I'm manifesting in the wrong direction. I need to tell you that this is not true. You are going the right direction. Everything will be okay. But you need to remember this. You need to be aware of this so that you're prepared. so that when these pressure tests appear in your reality, you're ready for them. When these experiences occur that make you feel like things are not working out, you know that this is proof that things are working out. See, success is not a linear direction up. It's jagged. Sometimes it goes up and it goes down. Then it goes back up, and sometimes it doesn't even go all the way back up to where you were previously. Sometimes it feels like you're on this journey, constantly going up and down, up and down, up and down. But when you look at it on a long enough time horizon, what you'll see is that over time, it is going up. Over time, you're progressing. Over time, things are getting better and better. As long as you are taking those daily actions forward, as long as you're introspecting and becoming more aware of who you are, what you're becoming, and why it's important for you to be the version of yourself necessary to create the life that you desire. Now, when these resistances occur, a technique you can use is called heart-based breathing. It was created by the Heart Math Institute, and it's very, very simple to do. And it's one of my favorite activities to do, and actually how I start all of my coaching sessions. And it goes like this. You take one hand, you place it over your heart. Once you feel your heartbeat, you inhale for 8 seconds, in through the nose, into your belly. You inhale for 8 seconds. Once you've inhaled for 8 seconds, you exhale for 10. This leads you to become more coherent. It causes something called heart rate variability coherence and stability. And by doing this, you enter into a more stable frequency, a more harmonious frequency. And it becomes easier for you to see the thoughts that you need to have, perspective you need to operate from, to actually get over these resistances, to overcome these humps. What I do is I repeat it at least 3 times. An 8-second inhale, a 10-second exhale, while holding onto my heart. I repeat this at least 3 times, and I find that this gives me just enough space to see clearer, to see just a little bit more awarely in order to overcome the experience, the resistance that has entered my present moment reality. And this is a key core practice that I recommend you do right now. Pause the video and do those 3 breaths and see how you feel. Now, when manifesting, there are many different practices that I recommend. And one of my favorite ones for quickly reconditioning the brain while you're active in reality, instead of when you're more stationary and you can sit down, you can meditate, you can do introspective journaling, you can read your script, is called rhetorical questions. And these are a form of affirmations. A rhetorical question is used in the same way you use an affirmation, but it works a little bit differently. When you have an affirmation, what is happening in the brain is that you are repeating a particular perspective and you're trying to create a neural connection for this particular perspective. You're trying to create a new node in your brain that holds this particular experience, this particular belief as true. And so you repeat it over and over and over. And at first, you might not believe it, and that's normal because the brain is constantly trying to confirm, is this true? Is this not true? And at the beginning, your brain's going to say it's not true. Because unless you're in a more hypnagogic state of the theta brainwave, where you're more in a sleep format where it's easier to be hypnotized, then it's going to be hard for your brain to recondition its old belief patterns towards this new belief. But there's a type of affirmation that works really well to overcome this hump without causing you to go through this cycle of negative belief because of not believing in the affirmation. And it's called a rhetorical question. And so, simply put, if you have the affirmation, I'm so wealthy and successful, you simply shift it to, why am I so wealthy and successful? And so, what happens in the brain is instead of it trying to confirm is this true or not, what it will do is it will seek out all the evidence for this question to be true. And it will formulate new thoughts, new perspectives, and new understandings that are more in alignment to this thought being true because it's seeking it out instead of trying to confirm, which is generally easier for the brain to do in a way that is more assistive to the goals that we're setting for ourselves in the creation of new thoughts, beliefs, perspectives. So as you go throughout the day, you simply repeat to yourself a rhetorical question. Why am I so wealthy and successful? Why are things working out for me? Why am I so abundant? Why is it so easy for me to create wealth? You repeat these questions to yourself as you go about your day. And before you know it, what happens is you'll start to having thoughts of evidence for why this is true. You'll start to see opportunities in your reality. You'll start to become aware of experiences that make you feel as if this is true. And by doing this, by conditioning this, by building a habit of this, what occurs is that you start cultivating a new framework for the reality that you're living. You start having new experiences that are in resonance to this question. You have new realities start to appear right before your eyes of this outcome becoming true for you. Now, beyond the rhetorical question, beyond the introspection, one of the most powerful techniques for reprogramming your mind, for creating new thoughts, new beliefs, and new perspectives is visualization. Now, you've most likely heard about it before, and that's for good reason. It's because visualization is one of the quickest and most potent ways to recondition your mind. And the reason for this is because it combines more or less every important factor that is necessary to create a new thought, a new belief, or a new perspective. It combines sensory details. It combines a heightened and clear intent, combines emotional engagement, and depending on the person, it can even combine other elements of sensory detail, like senses such as smell, taste, hearing, which all amplify the brain's ability to build a new model, a new neural connection, a new wiring in your brain of a belief or perspective or thought you're now having. And so to visualize for financial growth is very simple. All you have to do is set aside 15 to 30 minutes for a quick visualization session. I provide guided visualizations in my course, but you can easily create one for yourself by basically going to ChatGPT and putting in this prompt. I want you to imagine that you are a world-class manifestation coach, the best manifestation coach. And what I want you to do is ask me 10 questions, one by one, to help me create a guided visualization for myself. This visualization is for me to achieve a particular milestone wealth goal. Make sure this visualization is highly motivating and centralized around the key aspects of visualization that produce the best results. ChatGPT will spit something out, and what you'll want to do is simply go on your phone, open the voice recording app, and just record yourself speaking out this guided visualization. And once you've recorded it, you'll play it back on your phone while you're sitting or lying down, and you'll go through this visualization with yourself guiding you through the process. Now, my visualizations are generally a little bit longer as I have a particular process I created that I go through in each visualization, and they build on each other as you go through the weeks of my programs and my coaching. But for your purpose, this single visualization, if repeated daily over the next 90 days, will do a world of difference for you to cultivate and create a new framework for experience for yourself, internally and externally. Because what visualization does is it takes all the thoughts and the perspectives that you have in alignment to that desired reality, and it amplifies its ability to be perceived as real. And this is because when you visualize something, your brain does not know the difference between what is being visualized and what is experienced as real in the world around you. And because of this, visualizations are extremely potent to recondition the mind to a new perspective, a new framework for believing in the reality around you. Another reason why visualization is extremely potent is because of the brainwave state of being that you're in when you visualize. See, when you are a child up to the age of roughly 7, 8, you're in a particular brainwave state known as theta. And in this brainwave state, what occurs is that you are in a perspective akin to hypnosis. It's easy for you to take in new information and to believe it as real. And the reason for this is because as a child, there is so much new information that you have to take in. Your culture, the ways to go about life, how to act, how to integrate yourself into society without actually understanding or being able to communicate with that society. And so the brain's cheat code for this is putting you in this theta brainwave state. It makes it easier for you to intake information at a heightened rate of learning. And so we enter this state as we are drifting off to sleep. It's what makes dreams such a visually impactful experience because we're in these slower brainwave states that have us more restful and more influenceable. And so when you meditate, when you get still, and when you condition your mind into these different perspectives that you will have during your guided visualization, you're generally going to be in the theta wave state. And so it's easier for you to condition a new perspective into your mind, a new awareness, a new framework, a new understanding of who it is that you're being internally. This is one of the key core ways to create a new reality. Now, getting back to some of the foundational aspects of manifesting financial success comes down to your money story. And your money story is often inherited from your familial or societal norms as you were growing up. Your money story is the relationship and the beliefs you hold around money, whether it's something good, whether it's something bad, whether if you have lots of money, it's hard for you to enter heaven, where if you have lots of money, it's hard for you to be accepted by society, whether if you have lots of money, you are a bad person. These are negative money stories. And so, what you'll need to do if you find yourself having a negative money story is reconditioning it. Now, the journal prompts that you would have gotten from ChatGPT earlier are most likely going to include things about your money story. It's most likely going to include prompts that will help you recondition and redevelop this money story you have for yourself. But something you can do right now to just kickstart this journey is very simple. Rewrite the story you have around money in a way that makes you feel empowered, abundant, and at ease. And the simple way to do this is to set a timer for 20 to 30 minutes, and you write at the top, what is the story I desire to have about money? And then you just get to writing. You write everything from what type of relationship you want to have with money, how you want money to enter your life, what you want it to mean for you to have lots of money, what you want to do with your money, whether that be investing, giving, creating. What you're doing when you write this money story is you're setting in yourself a new belief about what money means to you. You're creating for yourself a new awareness about how money is experienced and expressed in your personal life. And by doing this, if you had negative beliefs, negative perspectives previously about money, it becomes easier and more effortless for you to create a reality that is of abundance and of wealth creation with this new money story. And so this is one of the simple and most effective ways to go about cultivating a new awareness around money, if that is what you choose to do. Now, I highly recommend it, but of course, if you are strapped for time, the things that I recommend doing up until now are this: journaling or scripting, heart-based breathing, rhetorical questions, and visualization. I know that's already a lot of stuff, but if you commit to the process of spending an hour and a half to 2 hours every day doing these things, maybe in the morning before you head to work or at night before you go to sleep, if you can commit to doing this for the next 90 days, you will be absolutely astonished at what you end up creating in your life. And of course, on top of this is the daily action you take to move your business forward. Because although I believe that you can manifest spontaneous money, where you can manifest a great aunt leaving you $1 million in your inheritance, I don't want to bet on it. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. We are entrepreneurs. We create, we diversify our income streams. We look for new ways, more habitual, more predictable ways to generate our success in life. And so it's important that every day we are doing something that moves us forward in our business. We're building the habit of creating our desired reality. That is the key to manifesting wealth. Now, I mentioned this briefly, but the simplest way to make this habitual is to turn it into a morning or evening wealth ritual. And so, what this basically means is to set aside a specific time, a specific location, and a specific routine for you to do every day to condition and habituate this experience into your daily routine and your daily lifestyle. And by doing this, it makes it so much easier to actually stick with it because you know at 6 p.m. it is time for you to do your wealth ritual. You go to your home office, you brew yourself a cup of tea or coffee. Well, probably not coffee at 6 p.m., but you know what I mean. And you enter into a heightened state. You perhaps start with your heart-based breathing to get yourself centered. You do your journaling practice for 30 minutes, or you read your script for a few minutes. Then you go into a visualization. That is a routine that works. Maybe you end your session with 30 minutes to an hour of work for your business. And by doing this, you spent 2, 3 hours on moving forward with your inner work in your outer work, and that's going to move you forward in your business. It's key that you have this practice and you stick to it every day. The reason why I have coaching is because sometimes it helps to have accountability and support on this journey. But you can easily do this by reaching out to a friend who has similar goals. Maybe they are into manifestation or just personal growth. Maybe they have a business and they can be your accountability partner. You meet once a week and you say, how did you do in this week's ritual? You say, 4 out of 5. I did it for 2 days, got distracted on Wednesday, and then got back into it the remaining ones of the week. This is a simple process you can put into place to make it easier and have a sense of accountability so that you stick with the process. And by doing this, it becomes effortless over time to achieve success in this routine. And when the 90 days ends, what you will find is that this process has become habitual. This process has become a part of your way of life. And so, experientially, what this means is it's now easy for you to continue with it. It's part of who you are. All you have to do is ask ChatGPT for a few more prompts, and you start on a next 90-day bender. That is how you do it. Now, when going through the process of reconditioning your mind, there are certain fears that you'll face when it comes to finances. And what you have to do is trace them back to their root causes. These fears occur partially because of resistance and partially because of limiting beliefs. And so when you have these fears, what they do is they cause you to procrastinate in the work you're doing. These fears can be a reason why you don't stick with your routine. These fears can be something that pushes you away from doing the work you know is necessary to create the life of your dreams. And so what you need to do is become aware of the root causes of this fear. And so what we'll do is a similar 7 reasons why technique on these fears. And so what you do is you simply write down on a piece of paper your top financial fear. It could be anything from I'm afraid that if I make a lot of money, I will lose my friends, to I'm afraid of making money because if I make money, then I'm a bad person. It could be a fear such as if I make a lot of money, I won't know what to do with it and I'll lose it all. It could even be a fear like I don't know how to make money and I don't know if I ever will. Whatever it is, write it down on a piece of paper and then below it, write down first why. Why do I feel this is true? And then you write, what would I rather believe? So, say it's a fear of, I don't know how to make money. You write why you believe this is true. And that could be, I don't know how to make money because I don't know where to start. I don't know what business to do. And then you write what you'd rather believe. And the belief, it needs to be action oriented. Instead of saying, well, I'll know how to make money, instead you would say, I can spend 10 minutes a day looking up ways to make money. It needs to be action oriented so it inspires you for future progression. It inspires continuation. And then you repeat this. I don't know how to make money. Why is this true for me? I don't know how to make money because the last time I tried to make money, it didn't work out. Then you write, what is the belief you want to hold about this. And you write that down. And then you continue another why. If the belief is every time I try to make money, I fail, then you would ask, why do I believe this is true? Because I tried a drop shipping business and I lost $1,000 on inventory. That would be the belief. And then you'd write the why that you want to have, which is if I spent 10 minutes a day researching drop shipping effectively, taking courses, then I could succeed at it next time. That is what you do. And so you keep on with this process until you get down to the seventh reason. And this will usually end up being a core reason. For example, it could be, I don't think I can make money because I don't believe that I have the intelligence or the ability to make money. And then you would write the new belief. I can make money if I spend 20 minutes a day working on myself. If I had to spend 20 minutes a day introspecting, creating the new beliefs, creating the new understanding, creating the new awareness of who I need to be to create more money in my life. And by reconditioning yourself, by reconditioning the framework of who you are, you will naturally become the person who's able to make money. You'll naturally become the person who's able to achieve these goals. And so this leads into creating your wealth identity. This is the process of identity shifting, becoming the person who naturally earns over $100,000 a month. To embody the traits, the perspective, the thought process, the awareness of someone who is able to create money in their life. This is the key. This is who you need to be. And so when undergoing the process of identity shifting, what you have to be aware of is the identity you want to shift to. That's the first step. Creating a vision of who it is you want to be. We've already done some of this work, so you should already have an awareness of the type of reality you want to live. But you need to go a little bit deeper than that. You need to identify the traits, the characteristics, the perspective, the thoughts that this version of self has. The version of self that you want to be. This is the key to identity shifting. Cultivating and crafting a new awareness of who you are becoming. This is the key to creating the reality you desire. This is identity shifting. And so, what this looks like when you shift your identity is you become more aware and you become more conscious of the traits you already have, the traits that you're developing that are in alignment to the version of self that achieves their goals. These are traits such as conscientious, traits such as resourceful, traits such as dedicated. When you have traits like these, and when you condition traits like these into how you act and how you operate and how you believe yourself to be, this will naturally reflect into the actions you take in the world around you. And what this looks like is, say you have the trait of dedicated. What this means is you believe yourself to be someone who is dedicated to the work they do. They don't procrastinate, they don't dilly-dally, they don't waste their time, surfing Instagram for 3 hours, when instead they should be doing their routine. Instead, they should be cultivating their ritual. When you have this trait, and when you believe this is the person that you are, it becomes natural that you take the actions that are reflective of this type of individual. It becomes natural that you spend time in your business. It becomes natural that you spend time introspecting. It becomes natural that you spend time meditating and visualizing. It becomes natural for you to have these experiences, to embody this version of self. And this is the key core element of identity shifting. This is how it works. And when you identity shift correctly, this gives you a greater sense of certainty and expectancy in your manifestation because you've aligned your beliefs with the actions to create certainty in your manifestation. Because you're taking action, this develops a level of expectancy within yourself of the reality that is occurring for you. You know that you're moving forward, and so you can have faith in yourself. You can have faith in the process. And this develops knowingness that inevitably you will receive the outcome you desire as long as you keep moving forward. Strategies to cultivate greater expectancy is celebrating the small wins in your life, imagining each step of the process as part of your inevitable success story. When you celebrate small wins, this can be very simple. As simple as when you do 5 days of your ritual in a row, you celebrate, you jump for joy, you congratulate yourself. You go out to an ice cream shop and you get yourself a scoop of ice cream and you tell yourself, I'm eating this ice cream because I deserve it. I'm eating this ice cream because I have achieved my goal of doing my ritual 5 days in a row. This is a major success for me. Celebrating small wins like this cultivates expectancy. It cultivates a habit of receivership. It cultivates a habit of creative expression. It cultivates the habit and the feedback loop necessary for you to continue moving forward in this journey, to continue by rewarding yourself with the wins along the journey, that it doesn't all culminate in reaching that 100K, but instead it culminates in you reaching that level of reality where you know yourself. It culminates in each and every moment of the journey being the end goal of the journey within itself. This is the process of manifestation. And when you feel a sense of satisfaction for even the small wins, imagine how much sweeter that end goal success will be when you reach that ultimate milestone. Because you're conditioning yourself to actually celebrate the wins. You're figuring out what it feels like to move forward effectively in your life. And you're figuring out what it feels like to reward yourself for these wins. You're figuring out what it feels like to succeed. And when you make success a habit, it becomes ever more effortless for you to experience more success. This is how you maintain confidence in the journey. This is how you overcome the setbacks that you face as you move forward. This is how, even when external results aren't immediate, you are still maintaining a state of satisfaction with moving forward. Now, another thing we need to discuss in this journey of financial manifestation is your wealth capacity. And you can think of this like a thermometer in a sense. You set your house temperature to 72 degrees on your thermometer. And if it gets higher, say it's really hot outside, your house warms up to 75 degrees. You have your thermometer set to 72. So your house will self-regulate. It'll bring your temperature back down to 72 degrees. Or if it's really cold outside, for example, it just started snowing where I'm at recently. And so if it's much lower and it gets down to 65, 60 degrees, your house will regulate. It'll bring it right back up to 72 degrees. Now, we as humans work quite similarly. We have something called homeostasis, which is a regulation point that our minds naturally go to in our conscious waking reality. It is a subconscious limit that is placed on ourselves for how much we can handle in our reality. This is why many times you'll see lottery winners lose all of their money so quickly because they have a financial set point, a wealth capacity. And because of this, when they come in to so much wealth, they don't have the energetic basis to handle this. They don't have the inner cultivation to handle this level of wealth. And so, because of that, they lose it. They either spend it on things they don't need, they give it away, or they just make bad financial decisions and aren't able to keep any of their wealth. And they end up exactly where they started. This is due to their wealth capacity. And so, what we are doing in our subconscious reprogramming work is raising your wealth capacity. We are raising the limit of wealth that you yourself can imagine handling within your internal reality. We are conditioning in ourselves a greater set point for the amount of wealth we believe is handleable for us, for the amount of wealth we believe is deserved by us. And by expanding your wealth capacity, you raise the limits for how much wealth you can receive. You allow yourself to become the version of self that can handle that much wealth, that knows what to do with it, that doesn't squander it, but instead reinvest it, that makes wise decisions with the wealth that you are receiving, that instead of buying the penthouse, instead invest in the Roth IRA, that instead of buying the Lamborghini, instead buys real estate. These are the paths to financial creation. And this is the path to sustained wealth, the type of wealth that you can pass on to your later generations. And so I just wanted to give you some context there that this is what we're doing, cultivating wealth, expansion, cultivating a higher level of the set point, raising your wealth capacity. Now, going through the process of cultivating more wealth, there sometimes is financial guilt or shame about past financial decisions that you made. Maybe you started a business before and it was going well, but you made a poor financial decision, got a loan that was a little too much for you, and didn't have the expansion capacity that you were expecting, and you had to file for bankruptcy. This isn't as rare as you think, these financial decisions that lead to bad financial outcomes. This doesn't mean you're bad at making money. Doesn't even mean you're bad at keeping money. It just means that you made a mistake, and that's okay. What you have to do is forgive yourself. You have to release the self-judgment and replace it with self-compassion. You have to think of yourself as a child. Imagine how you would handle the situation if you're speaking to a child who went through this, how you would comfort them, how you would assure them that everything is okay, how you would let them know that it is not their fault and that this was just a mistake that happened, that it's okay. Letting go of financial baggage like this can create space for new opportunities to be realized out in your reality. It can release blocks that you have towards wealth manifestation. It can release fears that have been built up into your mind surrounding the cultivation of greater wealth. By healing the financial guilt and shame that you might have, it opens up the door for the receivership of greater financial blessings. And an exercise you can do to do this, once again, using ChatGPT, is like this. ChatGPT, imagine that you are a world-class manifestation coach, the best manifestation coach. What I want you to do is guide me through a 10-step exercise to releasing self-judgment for my past financial decisions and to help me replace it with self-compassion. Do each step one by one with a guided framework and questions for me to go through to release this baggage. And then go through it. Once you go through this process, you will feel lighter. You'll feel more at ease within yourself. You'll feel more confident for the journey you're undergoing and the trajectory you're moving forward with in your life. You'll feel more at peace with yourself. Now, remember, resistance will show up. And sometimes these resistances will trigger shame and guilt. What's important is that you stay emotionally neutral around these challenges. To detach from the perspective that the setback means you're doing something wrong. To detach from the perspective that the setback means you're not going in the right direction. See, overreaction to these challenges will shift you back into a scarcity mindset. It will cause you to freeze up, and you won't be able to operate from the resourcefulness necessary to get out of this challenge. When you face an experience like this is when it's important that you have the practices of introspective journaling, of meditation, of heart-based breathing. These are the key tools and techniques you will use to process these challenges without losing momentum, to reframe them, and to move forward from a higher vantage point, a greater perspective, a greater reality. These are the keys to finding yourself in a greater, more aligned state of being to transition into a reality that's more desirable to you, to transition into a way of seeing yourself that is more reflective of the version of self that you desire to be, the version of self that knows what these challenges mean, the version of self that knows that this resistance is just a pressure test on the path to success, and knows that these resistances are not final, and knows that these challenges are just a blip on the map towards your destiny, a blip on the journey towards your true future. Now, let's transition from mindset work to a bit more of the actionable strategy we will utilize to cultivate this 100K a month business. What we need to do is identify the strategy we need to utilize to generate this wealth. And what this looks like is breaking down this goal into weekly income targets and daily tasks. And how we can do this is once again by using ChatGPT. By now, you should understand how much I love ChatGPT because it's amazing. But it is so useful for creating specific strategies such as this. And so this is the prompt we will use. ChatGPT, imagine you are a world-class financial coach and business strategist, the world's best. What I want you to do is to help me cultivate and create a strategy for myself to utilize to reach my milestone goal. Help me craft weekly income targets and daily tasks. And to do this, ask me 10 questions one by one that will help me figure out exactly what I'm aiming for, exactly what I need to do, and exactly how to do it. And do this based on XYZ business model. Now, for those of you who have not determined the business model yet, you're going to want to first start by asking ChatGPT to help you come up with a business model. And you'll ask it to ask you 10 questions about yourself to help you determine a business model using the same framework that we've been using up until now. And only after doing that will you then plug that in to this most recent prompt as the XYZ business model we'll use. Once you've done this, take this answer and plug it in to a Google Doc or Microsoft document. Track your progress as you go through these days, as you go through these daily tasks, and celebrate achieving milestones in the business as you move forward with these goals. It's okay if you miss a weekly income target. That's natural. Business is a fluid game. It ebbs and it flows. Not all the time will you experience success on the journey. But when you do reach those goals, when you do hit those targets, be sure to celebrate. That is extremely important. Now, in business building, depending on the model you choose to work with, what you're wanting to craft is a premium offer. If your goal is 100K in 90 days, it's going to be a little difficult to do that with models that offer cheap products. Now, premium offers are available in the majority of business models. If you're drop shipping, instead of drop shipping a $20 item, drop ship a $1,000 item. For coaching, instead of offering $50 coaching sessions, create a package that you can charge $2,000, $3,000, maybe even $5,000 for. It could be 8-week, 3-month package, whatever feels best to you. It can include courses, it can include journals, it can include prompts, it can include coaching. But what you need to do is develop and design a premium offer. An offer that aligns with the self-worth and the value that you aim to deliver. You see, when you offer a premium package, this attracts high value clients, people that you're going to want to work with, people that will inspire you, people that will make you feel as if you are moving forward in your goals, people you can network with, people that you can communicate with on a higher level. These are high value clients, and they make it much easier to reach higher levels in business. And so when designing a premium offer, what you want to do is create an irresistible high ticket offer. What this simply means is create an offer that looks so good, people would be insane to say no to it. An offer that makes someone say, wow, I would have paid 5 times as much for this. That is an irresistible offer. And you can do this by including bonuses. You can do this by including more one-on-one time. You can do this by just making the framing around your offer, the messaging clearer, more potent, more viral, giving it understandings and prompts for its expression into the world that make it feel premium, that make it feel like the exact answer to the problem you're looking to solve. That is how you design a premium offer. And so by designing a premium offer, this enables you to attract high value clients. What we've been doing in this process up until now is cultivating the internal alignment to this energetic state of the version of self that you desire to be. And this version of self is the version who attracts high value clients who see the value of your service. What you want to do to make it even easier for you to imagine this high value client is to create a dream client profile and focus on solving high impact problems with this dream client. Once again, you can use ChatGPT to do this. All you have to do is write this. Imagine you are a world-class business strategist. And what I want you to do is to help me determine what is a high impact problem I can solve for my dream client. Start by asking me 10 questions one by one that will help me figure out A, what is the high impact problem I can solve? And B, who is the dream client that I want to work with? And then put this all together in a formatted document that will allow me to see clearly who is my dream client and how will I solve the high impact problem for them. By doing this, you will create a greater awareness and a greater cultivated expression of this high impact activity for yourself. You will see clearly who it is you need to work with to achieve the 200K month. You will understand clearly what is the problem you will solve that best meets the needs of this high value client. And you'll be able to speak directly to them because you know who they are. By knowing who they are, you know, see, when speaking with these high value clients, it's important that you speak to them from who they are. Once you've created this client profile, you can also use ChatGPT to help you cultivate and develop a messaging strategy for this dream client. What are the problems they face? What are the things that keep them up at night? What are the activities that they spend too much time doing? And once you do this, once you've developed this messaging, you can put it into a storytelling format that resonates deeply with your ideal high-value client. And by having the storytelling framework, it allows you to communicate to them effectively and clearly, enabling you to speak to their heart's desire, bringing them in and helping them transition into a framework of working with you to solve a particular problem. Now, once you have identified the high value client Once you've created the action plan, once you've determined your premium offer, it's now time to align your sales with abundance. What should be happening now once you've identified your high value client and you've got your messaging down is that you've started marketing to them, whether that be Facebook ads, YouTube videos like I'm doing, Google ads, organic direct messaging, email campaigns, whatever it might be. Once you've picked your marketing channel and you've cultivated it so that you're bringing in new leads for your business, whether that be direct sales or whether that be calls scheduled on your calendar to speak with them and transition them into your programs. What you need to do now is align your sales with a abundance mindset. You must approach the sales conversations from a mindset of service and abundance rather than desperation. And what this means is you have to detach yourself from the outcome. When you're on a sales call with a prospective client, you have to realize that your job is to serve and to help them. You need to ask questions that allow you to understand their viewpoint, that allow you to understand where they are, that allow you to understand what is stopping them from reaching the goals that they have set for themselves, what is separating them from who they want to be in their life and business. When you are in a sales call, you need to be of a service mindset. You are serving them by selling to them. This is what you have to be aware of. When you are on a sales call, the prospective client, you have to be aware that your service is there to help them. You have to be certain and you have to be solidified with the awareness that if you make a sale today on that call, it means that you've helped someone move forward in their life and business, whatever your service might be. By making a sale, you're giving someone an opportunity to work with you in whatever capacity, whether that be a product like a jacuzzi or a coaching package like what I do. This gives them the opportunity to experience the gift and the blessings that it is to work with you for you to provide value to them. This is how you make win-win outcomes. When you approach sales from the mindset that you're here to provide value, not force them into something that they don't need. And that's why it's important that you design a premium offer beforehand, a no-brainer offer, so that you feel comfortable and confident offering it to them, knowing that it will meet their needs and wow them, knowing that it will over-deliver for them. Now, once you made the sale and once you have them in your pipeline to deliver them your service or your product, whatever that may be, it's important to track the sale. It's important that you use some sheet or software to track the financial progress you're making so that you can maintain clarity, momentum as you move forward in your business. Things to measure when you're tracking your progress are the income you receive, the leads coming in, your conversion rates, your cost per call, your cost per sale. These are the key metrics that you want to keep track of when moving forward in your business, as they'll allow you to forecast and develop better progressive models for how long it will take for you to reach your 100K goal. And it allows you to see what things need to change in order to hit it in the time period that you've set for yourself. So, for example, If your goal is 100K a month in 90 days, in the first 30 days, what you'll see is how much you've spent on ads and how much that's ended up being in conversions. And so let's say you spent $5,000 on ads and you got back $15,000 in sales. This is a decent entry-level conversion rate, 3-to-1 cost per acquisition. And so what this means is that if it's a 3-to-1 rate, then you'll need to spend $33,000 in month 3 in order to reach your 100K month. This seems pretty doable. If you spend 5K the first month, you got 15K back. After service costs, depending on what that is, maybe you've put in 12K the following month. And so you get 3 back the next month, and that leads you to 36K that you now can invest. And so that gives you 33K. So with that 33K, you're now able to hit your goal of 100K month in 3 months. That is how the process works. But you'd only know this by tracking your progress and your metrics. You'd only know this by making sure you see clearly what is occurring in your business. Now, there are many income streams that you can use when developing a business. You can use drop shipping, you can use services, you can use Amazon, you could start a brick and mortar business. There's many different types of businesses that you can either start or buy. What's important to identify is their scalable potential. How difficult would it be for you to hit your 100K month? Something to always note is that the cheaper the product, the more units you'll have to sell in order to hit that goal. And for certain businesses, when you scale up the amount of ad spend or marketing you do for a particular type of item, there is a little bit of resistance that pops up in terms of the marketing method you use. So, for example, you will start receiving diminishing returns after a certain point with certain marketing methods due to the total addressable market having been reached in a particular niche that you're focusing in. And so what this means is that, for example, say you spent 50,000 a month in a niche business and you try to spend 60,000 a month the next month while you made $150,000 and the first month you make only 160 the next month, even though you spent 10,000 more and should have gotten back 3 times the results. So you should have made 180. These are the diminishing returns that can happen at scale. And it's important to be aware of this because this means you need to now create new income streams. So, for example, if you're a service-based business and you provided one-on-one coaching, this could potentially mean expanding out into live events or offering additional products at a lower cost point or a higher cost point for upsells and downsell potential. It's important to be aware that the easiest person to sell is someone you've already sold. If you have a customer, you can get referrals. And if you have a customer, you can get them to buy again. These are the 2 most effective methods to scaling your business when you hit diminishing returns in your initial scaling strategy. Now you can also pivot to other marketing channels. This is a very effective method for scaling your business. If, say, you are seeing diminishing returns with Facebook ads, you can move to Google Ads. If you're seeing a diminishing return with cold calling, you can move to email marketing. There's many different ways you can go about addressing the issues with scaling your business. But what's important for you to be aware of is that when scaling your business, when reaching these higher levels, you are developing the version of self that can handle it. That's why it's very important that even after the 90 days, you continue your inner process. You continue with the ritual. You might not spend as much time on it because the first 90 days were for building the intensive habit. You might, instead of spending 30 minutes a day journaling, spend 10 minutes a day journaling. Instead of spending 30 minutes a day meditating, you spend 15 minutes meditating. This could be the simple shift that you take to make it more sustainable for you to continue the process after the 90 days. Once you do this, and once you continue this process, you'll continue to see growth in your internal reality. And this will lead to greater outcomes for your life and business. Now, when scaling your business, an important thing to do is to automate. You can automate through multiple ways. You can automate through delegation, or you can automate through softwares. Certain softwares allow for the automation of client outreach, lead generation, payment processing, many different items. And this can be through email sequencing softwares or CRM platforms, which stand for customer relationship management platforms. There's many ways to automate through softwares. There's many ways to automate through delegation. At scale, what you want to remember is that you're building a business. And the purpose of a business for most people is to generate more time freedom and more resources to experience life. Work smarter, not harder. When growing your business, take the time to step back, automate, and delegate. This will free up your time and put new people in positions of effective growth in your organization, allowing you more freedom to focus on the activities that will actually move the business forward. It's to move from working in the business to working on the business. It's a key core thing to be aware of. Now, when you're scaling, a lot of times you'll find opportunities from your network. And when networking, you must network with abundance in mind. What this means is don't treat networking as competition, but treat it as collaboration. This is how you operate it from a place of abundance. When communicating with people, share value, share resources, share information. When you communicate in that framework, you make it known that you are a collaborator. You're someone who can be a mentor. You're someone who honors value exchange. When you participate in high value communities and events, and you show up from this framework, it makes it easier to make connections with people that can help you move your business forward because they align with your values. They see you as an opportunity for themselves because of the value exchange. And because of this, it becomes easier for you to grow and expand with them. Now, when networking, when cultivating business growth and scaling, all of these things can happen, as I mentioned, in either a Satori format or a Kensho format. A Satori format is an unexpected financial windfall. Be open to these experiences. Be open to receiving opportunities and money from unexpected sources. This is the beauty of manifestation, that when you change your energetic alignment, when you change how you vibrate as a frequency, you alter the possibilities for creation in your life. You alter the possibilities for what you can receive in the reality around you. Don't be shocked if all of a sudden an opportunity comes your way that you never expected. Don't be surprised if all of a sudden you receive money that comes from absolutely nowhere. In this work, these things are possible and they're blessings. When you receive them, celebrate them. Experience joy. Be grateful for what you received, and that will allow more of it to come to you. But as mentioned, there's also Kensho experiences. And in Kensho, when it's a gradual process for realization, you need to have resilience. You need to have patience. Know that the challenges and setbacks that you face are opportunities for growth in the wealth building journey. Shift the perspective you have when things don't always go your way. Shift the perspective you have on failure. See it as feedback rather than defeat. Allow yourself to treat this as an opportunity to grow as a person, to develop more of the qualities and characteristics of the version of self that you desire to be. Remember, this is a journey. And along this journey, you can either be grateful for the journey or you can be focused on the destination. But it's hard to do both at the same time. In fact, when you're grateful for the journey as you're along it, it makes it easier for that destination to appear. When focusing on the destination and when enjoying the journey, it's hard to focus on both of them at the same time, but it's easy to allow for both of them at the same time. And by allow, I mean doing the routine, the ritual of conditioning your mind to the vision of being grateful for the journey. It's easy to do that. And this is different than focus, because what I mean by focus is only focusing on the outcome and waiting for that to occur. When you only focus on the outcome, this causes resistance to pop up in the mind. It causes you to become over-attached to the outcome and reduces the flow, the coherence that you're in on the journey. It's important when you're on this journey that you allow it to be effortless, that you allow it to flow. You focus on the ritual. You focus on what you need to do every day, the actions you need to take. You track it. You process it. You forecast based on it. But you don't become overly focused on the outcome. Don't become fixated on when it will occur. Don't become attached to waiting for something magical to happen. Step by step, take the actions that will move you forward in your life and business. And before you know it, you'll receive the outcome that you always dreamed of. On this journey, it's important that you use intuition and strategy together. It's important that you balance the gut feelings you feel with the logical planning to ensure alignment with your financial goals. Trust your intuition in your decision making, but stay grounded in the actions that are based on your strategy. This is why we do both a daily action that moves forward your business with an introspective action. These two core components together are the balance of intuition and strategy. The cultivation of the frameworks, the thoughts, the perspectives that allow you to see opportunities and trust those gut feelings because they know they come from a higher place, while at the same time strategically taking action to move forward step by step in the right direction. By doing this, it becomes easier and more effortless for you to create the reality that you know is most true for you. Now, as we come to the end of this course, what I want you to do is to do a brief visualization with me. Just a short visualization to kickstart you on this journey. I want you to start with the 3 heart-based breaths. Inhale for 8 seconds, and then exhale for 10 seconds. And repeat this 3 times. I'll do this with you. Now you should have done your heart-based breath. What I want you to do is to imagine a scene 3 months from now, 90 days from today. Imagine that you've achieved your financial goal, whatever that may be, 10,000, 100,000, $1,000,000, whatever that goal is for you. And what I want you to do is to imagine a scene that implies that you received this goal. Maybe it's a business partner coming up to you and saying, "We've hit it. We've achieved our goal. We've made XYZ amount of dollars this month." Or maybe it's a vision of you waking up in the morning and checking your bank account and seeing a string of zeros greeting you. Whatever that vision looks like, what I want you to do is to take that scene and feel it. Imagine it and feel it as real. What thoughts are you thinking? What emotions are you feeling? What does this mean you get to do? How are you going to celebrate this? Imagine these thoughts coming up to you and feel emotions from this reality. And once this feeling feels solid and stable for you, what I want you to imagine now is that you've moved forward from this reality. and you're now living from this reality is true. I want you to imagine what you are doing now because you've achieved this goal. What are you able to experience now? What does this mean for your family? Where are you able to travel to? What does this mean for yourself? Who are you now living from this reality? And once you've done this, once you've created this vision of the future, I want you to come to this present moment and I want you to feel as if this reality is true and real for you now. Embody this feeling. Imagine that you are living from these emotions now. The excitement, the joy, the feeling of success, the confidence, whatever feeling that may be for you, imagine it to be true and real for you now. Then open your eyes and move forward from this reality. Rewatch this video if you have to. Do the activities, create the ritual, move forward with a new plan, and create the reality you desire. And remember, if you want to work with me to do this, click the first link in my bio and schedule a call. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.